Real Estate Service.
Right now, it's your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
It's shaping up to be a rainy Monday in the Northeast through sections of the Gulf Coast. Hello, welcome to Weather Center. I'm Mike Bono.
And I'm Jim Cantori. In contrast with the east, parts of California, absolutely beautiful day. If you can take a little bit of heat, Mike's going to have more on that in just a moment. But we also have for you a look back at Hurricane Camille. And all of us that have anything to do with weather know where Hurricane Camille stands in the hurricane category. But first, let's go ahead and start in the Northeast as we take you into Quincy Market, to the Boston area. Very wet right now. This is pretty much what you're seeing right now as we speak. Very heavy rain coming down in the Boston area, just about inside everywhere, so make sure you drive careful if you're out and about. Looks like we will have pods of this heavier rain moving through, and then some fall weather coming on down from Canada. You gotta love it. All right, as we take you into the Northeast, you can see the cloud cover extending all the way back through Pennsylvania and West Virginia today. Not as much through Virginia and also Alabama and Georgia. That's because the disturbance has lifted on northward, but you've noticed this little twist right here. There's some pretty cold temperatures aloft, so where we are getting the sunshine now, we should see things begin to fill in pretty rapidly. Let's go ahead and show you what's happening here. Looks like a pretty good cluster of storms here, well southwest of Clayton Lake and well north of Sugarloaf, Maine, just kind of straddling the border there between Canada and also the United States. And then this choppy light rain for the most part until we hit the New Hampshire line, and then it's all moderate to even heavy rain down to the Boston area. We're fine till we hit the Connecticut Valley. We get a little bit of a break. Albany, you're doing pretty good. Some more patchy rain around Glastonbury and on back through Poughkeepsie as well. And storms here from Long Island Sound across the Big Apple and on back west to the south of Allentown. And notice these storms, what they're doing. They're developing and they're pushing over some of the same areas that have already been hit with some heavier rain. So this is where you get into your flash flooding. And the good news is this area really needs the rain. The bad news is we don't need train echoing or the training of echoes going on in this area, which is these thunderstorms that develop over the same areas. We call that a training of echoes or a training effect. Notice just south of Baltimore, a little cluster of showers trying to develop, and then we head north toward York or Hagerstown in Maryland. You can see the showers there. Nothing terribly heavy at this time. Rain's really diminishing in intensity as they made their way towards Chicago. A lone storm to the northwest of LaPorte, Indiana, and also to the west of Peoria. Some showers and storms sinking on off to the south and east. Another area we're concerned about today for some storms is southern Michigan. You'll notice the rain here trying to develop back toward Grand Rapids, and there's a lone cell on the border there, but so far so good. A few showers here south of Birmingham. This area could fill in with some isolated storms today. Not as concentrated as what we had yesterday, and it will not be as concentrated as what we will have tomorrow. I mean, tomorrow will be very little in the way of rainfall as high pressure ridge begins to build in from the plain states. Notice along the Gulf Coast, showers and thunderstorms along the I-10 corridor. If you leave Pensacola and head east, you are going to be real wet for probably about a 50 to 70 mile stretch there with those thunderstorms. That's, of course, presuming that you're leaving right this instant. South of Orlando, on over to the seacoast, storms here rolling in from the southeast, so they're actually moving northwestward. Same thing on the south side of Florida, too, from Fort Myers on back through western Dade and Broward County. And there'll be more Fort Myers and Naples where that came from, because there's a line of rain just getting ready to nail you probably in the next hour or so. What's happening out west? Let's find out with Mike.
Those of you in Los Angeles and San Francisco will see the sun breaking out today if it hasn't already, while in the Seattle area, maybe not that encouraging. Could break out, but some clouds and showers, especially north of Seattle. Let's take a look at our map, and we'll notice the trend, which is kind of rainy in parts of the upper Rockies, the northern Rockies, from parts of Wyoming into parts of Montana, and the Puget Sound area getting some rain showers, as well as Arizona and Colorado. Further east, it's a hot one in the southern plains and parts of northern Texas, with South Texas getting rain. Only 60 in Seattle at this hour, 65 Portland. So taking a while to get those temperatures up. San Francisco, nothing new there, 59 degrees, and the clouds come in the morning and go away in the afternoon. And it's been that way in LA and San Diego, with a little bit more brightening during the afternoon. But up to the mid-90s, Las Vegas, 93, Phoenix, and Salt Lake City already 85, along with Denver. So we're getting hot. This red area or orange area is outline of 90-degree or plus weather in a lot of Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas. Some showers moving up through Lake Charles, Louisiana, into the parts of the piney woods of Texas. Not as rainy as yesterday when you had about 11 inches of rain down in Webb County, Texas, but we've seen funnel clouds in Victoria County, near Victoria, Texas, Matagorda Bay. Most of the Gulf breezes are popping the thunderstorms inland from you by a few miles. Ditto that around Houston, right around that Harris County area. Watch out. Greater Houston area, vivid lightning and some locally heavy downpours. But we have a big mass movement of clouds ahead of our trough of low pressure in the northwest, and that is leading you towards some severe thunderstorm potential. Some sprinkles in the northwest and some showers in Arizona, with the clouds hanging in there in a lot of Southern California, maybe a little longer than you'd like to see. But some of the rain, Sedona, Prescott, up toward Flagstaff with thunder, possible flooding of some roadways and some low wash areas near Winslow, Arizona. Even showers mainly east of Phoenix right now. Getting going, maybe some blowing dust with those. As the showers come through the Straits of Montepusca toward Port Angeles and Bellingham, but not quite into Seattle. You do have a lot of clouds there, though. Just getting the act together from the Tetons into Billings and Red Lodge, Montana, and parts of Wyoming, where we do expect that we'll see some scattered severe or damaging thunderstorms, maybe large hail and some gusty winds today. Here's Jim with more.
Mike's back with the forecast in just a minute, but first a look back at a memorable weather event on this date. In 1969, Hurricane Camille made landfall at Pass Christian, Mississippi. Sustained winds were recorded at 190 miles an hour with gusts over 200 miles an hour. In addition, a massive storm surge of 24 feet was recorded. Camille was one of only 2 Category 5 hurricanes to hit the United States. 256 people died, and damage exceeded $1.4 million. I do not mean to be an alarmist, but imagine what a Camille would do today. Thank goodness none of that. Here's the forecast with Mike.
None of that right now, Jim, that's for sure. You just have a September-like low-pressure system moving into the northeast with more heavy rains today and just some showers in a lot of the southeast and Gulf Coast. Some of them localized flooding in Texas and maybe into the southeast, with a chance of severe thunderstorms popping up, maybe some gusty winds and large hail that could do some damage in Montana and the Dakotas late tonight. And tomorrow some of that rain continues, but a cool high coming down through Minnesota and the northern lakes, eventually toward New England. But look at those rains in the east and parts of Texas over an inch locally as the heat builds in the center of the country and actually expands the next few days. Jim?
You know, as much as it hampers travel plans and whatnot, the Northeast really needs that rain.
That's right. August can be a dry month. We'll take a look at what kind of troubles it's making with travel coming up next.
When you combine Reese's Peanut Butter Cups and Crispy Wafers, the combination is irresistible. Reese Sticks, the crisp you can't resist.
So your hair's a little damaged? That's okay. Really damaged? Even better. Because the worse the damage, the harder this works to restore shine. Pantene Pro V Treatment Conditioner.
it's Monday, and you know, you get a few rain showers and some thunderstorms. You've got a very gray start to the week. Thanks for tuning in for this edition of Weather Center, brought to you by GM Cadillac. I'm Lisa Moser.
And I'm Dan Atkinson. In contrast with the gray, rainy weather across parts of the east, parts of California are enjoying sunny skies, and we'll have those details in a moment. And we'll look back on Hurricane Camille as well. But we begin in the northeast. If you're headed to Quincy Market today in Boston, plan to carry an umbrella. Periods of light to heavy rain will follow you as you shop today. And the rain will continue through the evening hours as well. Your expected high in the Boston area in the upper 70s today. So a wet day in Boston, and certainly a wet day in the New York City area, where flood warnings continue in effect. In fact, let me back up and show you radar for the Boston area on down through New York and to Washington, D.C. You can see the reds and yellows here over the New York City area, parts of New York getting some heavy rainfall coming down at a rate of 1 inch to 1.5 inches an hour. And flood warnings are in effect now for the metropolitan New York City area, including in southeast New York State, southern Westchester County, New York County, Bronx County, Richmond County, in northeastern New Jersey, eastern Essex County, Hudson County, eastern Union County under flood warnings, and in southwestern Connecticut, extreme southern or extreme southwestern Fairfield County. So poorly drained areas, low-lying areas, creeks and streams could very well be out of their banks, so certainly be very careful due to the flooding in the New York City area. The reason for the flooding, a weak upper-level low and also weak surface low combining to pump in lots of moisture. Plenty of moisture coming in and producing widespread rain across southern New England, back into the mid-Atlantic states. And you have had heavy rain in the Boston area. It has certainly caused you some slowdowns on the inner and outer loops, and the Mass Pike has been wet now for the past several hours. Your temperature in Boston, 67 degrees. It's 73 in New York City, a bit warmer at Philadelphia and Washington, D.C., getting into the 80s, and 79 degrees now in Pittsburgh. There is a cold front stretching through the Midwest, and it too is a rainmaker. It is heading on toward the east, but for today, the precipitation associated with it is going to be primarily from the central Great Lakes into the Mississippi Valley. You're getting some light rain now in the Chicago area, where your temperature is 81. On the cool side of the frontal system, 67 degrees now at International Falls. On the warm side, 83 at Des Moines and 90 at Kansas City. Here's a look at that front, the leading edge of some cooler Canadian air. And as you can see, there's not a lot of precipitation out ahead of it, but where there is precipitation, it could be in the form of some strong thunderstorms for you later on around Chicago. So far, all you've had is some light rain, and here's a look at the radar satellite composite showing the rain even tapering off for you in the Chicago area, but some heavy thunderstorms that have swept through the Moline and Quad Cities area, sweeping on toward the southeast, toward Bloomington, Illinois. Meanwhile, you have continued dry in the Detroit area, but chances are you will have a thunderstorm before the day is over. For now, they're primarily to the north, sweeping through Saginaw and Bad Axe. Over the southeastern portion of the country, some unsettled weather conditions, particularly over the Naples area, as radar shows. Actually, I'm not sure we're going to see that radar, but we do have an urban and small streams flood advisory in effect for Collier County, west of Miami, Naples, where you've had already 1 to 2 inches of rain since noon, and it looks like you could pick up another 2 to 3 inches of rain before it's all over. And in southeastern, also in the southeastern part of the country, in Jacksonville, there is now a tornado warning in effect. A tornado warning in effect for southern Duval County, the Jacksonville area, with Doppler radar having indicated at 3:21 a developing tornado a mile north of the University of North Florida on the south side of Jacksonville, moving northeast at 5 miles per hour. A storm spotter has also reported a funnel cloud in the same vicinity, and we certainly advise you to take shelter immediately if you're in the path of that possible tornado. What's happening in the west? Here's the story from Lisa.
Thanks, Dan, for the warning. For those of us not in Los Angeles, well, we can eat our hearts out because we're experiencing some very nice conditions in much of California. From Los Angeles to San Francisco, we are seeing clear skies. But in Seattle, well, it's been a dreary afternoon. We have more clouds moving in, and the temperatures are struggling in the 60s at this hour. We may see 70 today. Other places out west, Montana, we're looking at showers, cloudy skies, and some thunderstorms. Let's take a look at the regional radar right now. You'll notice that the showers and thunderstorms are moving in from the southwest. Well, they are all ahead of a surface cold front that pulled through the Seattle area day before yesterday. We were looking at this moisture ahead of the frontal boundary across much of Washington. Well, now it's over Montana and Wyoming. And we're getting to that part of the day where it's beginning to warm up out here. We may see some strong thunderstorms, maybe even some severe weather. Now, by severe, probably the big threat will be gusty winds, possibly higher than 60 miles per hour, maybe even some large hail, maybe 1 or 2 inches in diameter. But right now, we're looking at mainly moderate to some heavy rain showers. And keep in mind that the radar doesn't always do a real good job out here in the Rockies of picking up every thunderstorm cell. So let's take a look at the lightning data. We do see some pretty impressive cloud tops across much of Montana, the foothill country, the high country. We are seeing some thunderstorms up around the Tetons right now.
Hurry, drive happy now.